Hello everybody, this is Astocky here and welcome to another episode of the Real Kerbal Space Program Let's Play. I have spent the last 2 hours trying to work out how to successfully re-enter with the new version of the FAR, the Ferram Aerospace research mod, and the deadly re-entry. And even with 5 and 6 heat shields, I've not worked out a way to actually make it work. I've tried from 100 kilometer circular orbit, everything from 55 kilometers down to basically 0 kilometer periapsis. I've tried pretty much everything I can think of, and none of them have worked. I have ended up doing nothing but killing myself over and 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 over for the last hour. Yeah, I didn't kill myself a lot in the first hour, and the reason for that was that basically what I had done was I was launching, and then I realized after an hour of doing it that I could quick save and quick load. So from then I killed myself a lot more frequently. I don't know what's going on. It's like it's designed to be really hard. So I thought instead of messing with that, I would do something a little different. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this the Kerbal command pod, and I am going to make my very first mini space station. Now I call it a mini space station for a reason that'll become pretty clear soon, but perfect. Now how do we... There we go. That looks much nicer. Now we want RCS thrusters. We're going to want 4 of these. Those are not lining up straight, are they? No, they are not. So that looks a little better. Hopefully we're not going to die excessively. Now, I have no idea, like I said, how to re-enter with the deadly re-entry mod, but at some stage I am going to have to. And because of that, I'm going to put a couple of these on. Each one adds a little bit to how long you can survive. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them should make me somewhere close to survivable. I say somewhere close because it's probably not going to happen, but I mean, you just never know with these things. Now, the problem with having those thrusters there is my center of mass is up here on the heat shields, so having the reaction thrusters down there means I'm going to end up with issues, and I'm going to rotate, and that stinks. So I need to move the center of mass down a bit. So let's get a fuel tank. That's better. We've now nearly got the center of mass where those things are. Now of course I'm going to add a big ass parachute to it. It's going to move the center of mass up a bit. Now I've decided I'm going to go for the Kerbal flight engineering system this time, because that's just the best way to do it. I'm going to stick it like right up here on the top, and that's going to help me work my rocket. Now the center of mass is still above that, which means if I try and translate left and right, I'm actually going to impart a little bit of a spin on myself. So I need to get that down a little bit more. That's not quite low enough. Still not quite low enough. Let's swap the order of those around. Geez, that's close now. In fact, it might be easier to just take these and move them up a little. Oops. Turn that off again. So if we go center of mass, that is going to be pretty much perfect. So we'll get our giant decoupler. There we go. Now this thing currently has no weight. Oh, I forgot something really important. The remote command module. I'm going to need one of those. So now let's have a look how we're doing. Now this is going to be quite an expensive station. In fact, that's the advanced SAS. Let's not put that on now. Let's put that below the decoupler. Center of mass. That looks just about perfect. Now I'm going to need an engine. What I'm thinking of, in fact, let's not change that. What I'm thinking of for an engine is something a little out of the ordinary. That's got an ISP of 300. That's not very good. But what we have is... where are they? There we go. We have these that are part of the home pack. That's got an ISP of 390, which is really good. And if I put 4 of them about there, I basically haven't changed the center of mass, but I should have a good amount of fuel for them to work on. I'm not sure though if I need to connect fuel lines to them. I probably do. No, that's the wrong way. Let's start here and run fuel to the engines. There we go. We now have quite an expensive ship with a reasonable amount of delta V. Not a huge amount, but a reasonable amount. Now, I've totally forgotten all of the things I'm going to need. This is going to be... okay. Yeah, this is not going to work anything like I had hoped. That's okay. We'll chuck those over there because they're going to come out later, and I'm probably going to end up having to stick them further down because we actually need it's like an atmospheric recycler, I think it's called, or something like that. Maybe it's under science or utility. Home admin module, atmospheric miner, habitat module, home power plant, hitchhiker storage. Aha! Life support electronic algae. Whew. See, this will allow me to regenerate the oxygen, which basically doubles how long they'll survive on board for. And this thing gives you a much better return rate, but a lot of additional cost. Who says I'm not reasonable, giving them all that additional oxygen? This thing just got heavy, but it's part of that life support mod. I think it's going to need to be heavy. So now let's chuck those down there. Where did the center of mass end up? That's not entirely bad. We've ended up a lot lower than I was thinking we would. And now I don't probably need these. I can probably just attach these down here. So we've got a lot less delta V now. Now, if I'm correct about this, the center of mass is around about the... yeah, it's around about the middle, which means I can now get a second set of those and stick them there, and that should balance each other out. Ooh, battery. I need battery. And I need solar panels. Ah, man, there's so much stuff you need. Gigantor arrays. I'm gonna go for just 2 of them. And the reason I'm going to go for 2 with symmetry like that is now, you know, they weigh 0.35 each, which isn't exceptionally heavy. But what I can do is I can balance them out now by adding something else. Maybe it's under sciencey. There we go. So we add ourselves a nice remote tech interplanetary satellite dish, and then we are going to need some kind of deployable antenna. What's this thing? Nah. I definitely am going to need, not going to need that sunbeam laser. Yeah, I'm going to need an omnidirectional antenna. Probably more than one of them. So I'll just... whatever, let's just stick it... let's just stick that there. Oh, haha. I messed up my symmetry. So now we've got 2 interplanetary satellite dishes, 1 omnidirectional antenna, got a bunch of Kerbals, we've got that control unit so we can control other satellites. That is pretty much my rocket. Now that's 25 MGs, whatever exactly it is that MGs are. But it's got a thrust to weight ratio of greater than 1, which is just ridiculous. In fact, it's so ridiculous, I'm thinking about getting rid of half of them. Uh-oh, what just happened? Okay. Yeah, there we go. I just unbroke it. Okay, so now we need something to launch this with. So, let's go for these big Rockomax fuel tanks. I think 3 of them is a good amount. And then we'll stick a mainsail on and see how we're going. So now we have... why is stage 2 not showing me any... okay, there we go. So thrust to weight of 1.7, got 3,200 meters per second of delta V. That's not quite enough. So this is, wow, this is going to eat through like half my budget. So we're going to put 4 of these crazy puppies on there. It's really weird the way those things don't quite square off. In fact, I don't know what's causing it. It freaks me out a little bit. But for now anyway, let's go put on 4 of them, and we will go for, where are they? These things? So we now got a thrust to weight ratio of 2 and 3,700 meters per second of delta V. Now, if everything goes well, and I know my staging, which I'm not confident that I do, that should give me more than enough delta V to get myself into a good orbit, and then I should have all the RCS that I need to eventually, hopefully, bring myself back down. I wish I was a lot more confident. Yeah, I wish I was a lot more confident. I just don't think that's going to be enough. So what I might do is go get these small tanks. Where'd I put those hats? Aerodynamic, little hat. Okay. Yeah, 4,200, that's going to be plenty. Actually, in fact, this is probably going to be so overkill. In fact, I'm so confident this is going to be overkill. I'm going to add some more things to it to make it... Wow, look how tall that is. I'm going to now add some scientific equipment to this. Computer flight unit. Yeah, compact. Nah, don't feel like adding one of those. I've already got some probe controlling equipment on. Let's go for... Down here we're going to stick a barometer. Where'd the barometer go? There. So opposite the barometer, we're going to set a gravioli detector. Then I'm going to throw on a thermometer. And then over this side, I'm going to put an accelerometer. Bunch of sciencey type equipment. Make everything better. And in fact, I'm going to go for a... Can I put you on top of my parachute? No, I can't. Don't want something that's going to stick out like that and look silly. How are you looking? Okay, you can't attach at all. That's not cool. So in that case, two of you it is. So what have we got there? We got power. We've got no battery storage. That is not going to do me that good. Did I put... I seem to put everything except for batteries. So, where's our big battery ring? Big leg, little battery. Seems they don't exist. Well, that's crazy. Whoa. How did you get so rotated off compared to the other ones? That can't have been... That could have ended in tears, that could have. So for now anyway, let's go... four-way symmetry. Throw 4 of those in. How much charge do they store? 100 units of electric charge each. There you go. Perfect. I feel the love now. We're going to call this, and this will, at 77,880, this will bankrupt me if this doesn't work. So we're going to call this Station 1. There's only going to be one Station 1, and it is just going to work, because it has to work. Yep, it absolutely has to work. If it doesn't work, things are going to go so horrible. Now, this is going to be on local control, because I have Kerbals on board, and it's a controlling ship, because it has that control module. Whatever it's called. That's the advanced SAS. That one just there. Remote Tech Remote Control Mark II. I want to make sure I got the right one. It says Remote Tech Remote Control. Yep, I can't believe I did that. I very nearly got the wrong module. That would have been like a fate worse than death to get such an expensive satellite into orbit and then have it not work. So now we need to replace all those things that we just messed up. Wow. Thankfully, if it didn't launch, I didn't buy it. The Kerbals very quickly realized their mistake and said, whoops. So we need those Gigantor solar arrays, 2 of again. Got our batteries, got everything. Man. Not sure exactly what's happening here. Whoa, what are you? Ah, you're the big battery I've been looking for. See? Simple. But we need 4 of them, not 2. There we go. Like I meant to. Okay. So this time we got 78 320. Okay. Station 2, Rev 1. No, Station 1, Rev A. This time, confident. I did get a little bit heavy though, so I lost just a tiny little bit of delta V. So I'm going to have to work out what kind of stable orbit I can get myself into. So, computer controls on, throttle to 100%. Please don't break. This is good. This is good. It's very loud. But we're definitely heading in the correct direction. Throttle down a little bit. Gonna begin just a mild gravity turn here. And the reason for that, you might say, well, what do you want a gravity turn now for? And the reason is because of the rule that I have in place where anything that lands on land as debris is bad. I've got to try and make sure that these liquid fuel boosters end up with enough momentum to kind of drive them over this way that they'll end up not hitting Kerbal, or at least not hitting the Space Center. Please hold that. Please hold that. Okay, that's good. Yep, it's holding it. It's holding it. Oh, it's a little wibbly wobbly, but I can cope with wibbly wobbly. Apoapsis is rising quite rapidly now. Out of contact doesn't matter. It's because I haven't deployed my antennas, but I'm a locally controlled ship, so that's not a problem. Gonna try and pitch myself over to much closer to 90 now. There we go, right on the 90 mark. Don't want this big engine to overheat until we get ourselves into a nice orbit. 75. How are we doing? 80. The periapsis is coming up very quickly at the moment, which is excellent. Whoop. 155, hey? Guess that's going to have to work for me. I will now accelerate time till we get out of the atmosphere. Don't want my big ship to break. Okay, out of the atmosphere now. So now that we are out of the atmosphere, I can, where are you? Deploy my antenna, which now puts me in communications with the Kerbal Space Center. I can now extend my solar panels to make sure I keep lots of battery power going. Now you can see here I'm slowly building up carbon dioxide, so I can now just move this flood engineer a little bit. What's my time to apoapsis? 5 and a bit minutes. I got plenty of time for that. So you, I think, you are my oxygen cylinder. There we go. So I can activate my converter, and that will use quite a bit of electric charge, but not more than I'm making, and it will take 16 carbon dioxide and turn it to 11 oxygen. So that should really help these guys to stay alive for a lot longer, as long as I can keep power. So I don't know why these things are all highlighted. Stop it. Stop being highlighted. There we go. Much better. So 4 minutes to my apoapsis. Actually, let's... which one of these? Vessel information. Current delta V remaining is 114 meters per second, and then I have 600, so I have 700 meters per second. So let's go to here. You can see the communications line with the Space Center. So I'll come just there, add a maneuver node, and try and burn that into a circular orbit. So we've got there 153 by 155, and that's going to use 238 meters per second, which is easily less than I have. So we are good. So now SAS off. Oh, we got the wibble wobbles. I don't want to use my RCS yet, because my RCS is only concentrated up in this end, and I don't know what that'll do to the rocket. Maybe, break it. I would hate for that to happen. So now let's hold it right there. Okay, so we've got 2 minutes and 50 something seconds until the burn, and it's a 6-second burn with this engine. So with staging and stuff, I'm going to start at about 10 seconds early and see how we go. Okay, turn SAS off, turn SAS back on. Keep myself thrusting. Just going to watch the orbital velocity now and the orbital up here in the top corner. Just allow me to fine tune things a little bit. 154 to 156. If we can just get a tiny little nudge more. No, that didn't help things. Maybe if we turn RCS on, we can translate backwards. Nope, that wasn't backwards. There we go. Translate backward and make it whatever. That is as far as I'm concerned a really good orbit. So we now have, well, we're on the dark side, so we're using power quite quickly. But that's okay, because now that we have a station in orbit, we now have Kerbal here. Well, sorry, the Kerbal Space Center on the peninsula. No, that's not the peninsula. On the coast of. Well, I hate to say it because other people have already used the name, but Africa. Now, this particular bit of debris is actually going to hit the atmosphere. I'm sure of it. Yeah, it's gonna skim well within the atmosphere, so it should count as burning up. If it doesn't, I'll have to make sure I remember to delete the persistence of it, but it definitely shouldn't be there. But for now anyway, I have this beautiful ComSat here. It's got 2 satellite dishes and an antenna. It's not in contact with the Kerbal Space Center, but it doesn't need to be because it has that control module, so it can actually control other vessels. But what it can also do is it can bounce signals from here to this and out to probes. So what it means now, if I was to launch like a remote probe without this in orbit, once it got to about here, it would be out of contact with the Space Center, and then it would stop working, which is bad. But now that I have this, it's going to keep zipping around, and when it's on the dark side over here, I can launch the probe, and the probe will get out to here and go, I can see this one now, so it can see both of them, and that'll allow it to keep functioning. So that's the aim of this mission. So give me a couple of seconds and I'll jump to the website. My forum thread's up now, so we'll jump to my forum thread and we'll see how things are going. So see you all soon. Okay guys, I'm back. Here is my forum thread on the Kerbal Space Program forums. It's called Real KSP Campaign. There'll be a link to it in my description of this video. I'm also, as I complete each mission, like I have all the rules, I have everything in here. As I complete each mission, I'm also doing like a kind of a mission update linking to the video so that you guys can see what I did and see how I did, and I'm keeping a running total of like my mission scores there as well. So basically for this particular mission, the mission was to put a satellite into orbit. I'm calling it a space lab. I don't know if that's absolutely correct. I'm not sure if there's a particular requirement for it to be a space lab. I mean, I added those Kethane scanners, which I forgot to turn on. That reminds me, I will turn those on. But yeah, I added Kethane scanners so it can scan the Kerbal for Kethane. I can't drill any of it because that was one of the rules that I can't use that. But I can at least scan and find it and understand more about Kethane. Plus, I'm also using it as my super fantastic super satellite relay system. So as far as I'm concerned, that's a space lab. So the bonus for completing that mission is 100,000. I'm wondering now if maybe that was just a little too much. It seems a little unbalanced, but that's okay. You know, you only get it for the first one anyway, so that's going to be 78,320. I had to buy 3 Kerbals, so that was 7,500 in Kerbal training. I then made 100,000, and I get half of my vehicle cost back because that's the way that it works. I get half my vehicle back. There's nothing that comes up here. There's nothing that comes up here. I don't think I get any of these. This is going to be the next one that I aim for, because clearly having one satellite to bounce something off isn't that good, particularly when it's zipping around the planet. And I definitely didn't have enough, at least I don't think I had enough fuel left to put it into a Kerbal stationary orbit or whatever you call it. But I'm going to aim for this, and I'm going to try and put some geostationary satellites up, and that's going to be the next mission. But for now anyway, it's not a satellite, it's not an orbit. No, so no reward bonuses for me, just the basic mission bonus. So I will edit that in and put that in there for you. But basically, I'm up, it looks like about, so it cost me 30, so I'm up probably about another 70,000, so I'm up somewhere near 200,000, which is going to be excellent, because that's going to allow me to start budgeting for putting up all the satellites that I'm going to put up that aren't going to actually win me very much money at all. In fact, they're only going to potentially make me $10,000 or $15,000 each, and they're going to be pretty expensive satellites. So this windfall is going to really help me out with the rest of the campaign. So I hope you guys are enjoying it. I'm going to keep messing around off camera to see if I can get a way to deorbit safely. In the event that I can't do that, I might actually have to take deadly reentry out. I'm a bit loath to do that because I don't really want to take it out. But if I do take it out, I'm going to come up with some rules for what makes a safe reentry, and I'd like you guys to tell me as well what makes a safe reentry, and then we can kind of work something around there that, maybe if I take too many G's or maybe if something like that happens, I'll just say, yep, my ship blew up. Because I think at the moment it's a little bit bugged and it's next to impossible to actually complete. But anyway, hopefully you guys are really enjoying this. I'm absolutely loving playing this. I'm a bit frazzled from 2 hours of trying to get it to work and failing constantly. But yeah, and if you guys are actually trying this out yourselves, if anyone is actually doing it, I'd be really interested to see how you guys are going. And also make sure you check out the original creator of this, which is Lord Stimpy. He's done some really cool Let's Plays of this, and I really enjoy it, watching his videos as well as making my own. So again, thanks for watching. Stay tuned for the next episode. Astocky out.